Hi, I'm Claudia Brown Coulter with Pivotal Peace. I am your go-to mediator for navigating divorce while parenting children with special needs. I'm also a legal document assistant, LDA, based in the greater Los Angeles area. Today's Thursday, where we talk about all things related to step one of your divorce. Today, we're talking about the right way to serve your divorce papers. I get a lot of questions about this. People are really confused, so let's clarify that. So there are some legal implications of incorrect service. It's important to have service that is correct because this service starts the clock on your 6-month divorce window. It is not when you date your divorce petition. It is not the date it's been filed. The clock doesn't start until your spouse is served. If you don't have proper service, your divorce hasn't really started yet. There can also be legal challenges. If you don't properly serve and maybe just pretend like you serve someone and then sign it and commit fraud, there could be some legal challenges. There definitely will be some legal challenges down the road. Not to mention, you're going to delay the divorce. So proper service is important. I find that people don't like this step because they don't want to find their spouse. Or they know the general vicinity, but they don't want to talk to their spouse. I'm like, how do you expect to end this amicably if you're not even willing to have a conversation about where they're living and let them know, hey, by the way, I'm divorcing you. I'm going to tell you face to face or, FaceTime or on the phone so that it's not like, surprise, you're served. Happy birthday. They need to know, how are you going to reach an agreement and settle all the terms of your estate if you can't even talk to them? All right. So here's some common mistakes. You're using an ineligible server. This server needs to be someone who's 18 or older. They don't have to be a registered process server. They can be, but they need to not be a party to the case. That means you can't serve your spouse. It doesn't count. Some people want to use their adult children to serve their spouse. You can do that. Probably not a good idea, but you can do that. So you want to make sure that your process server is eligible. Sometimes people fill out the forms incorrectly, the process server or the friend, the family member you get to deliver these forms. So you have to make sure that that's correct. You have to have the correct address on these forms, the correct address of where this person was actually served. So whether that was mailing, but a lot of times it's somebody's delivering them the forms to them. You have to have the correct address on the forms. You also have to file the proof of service that says, hey, we did it. Yeah. Hey, court. Yeah, I got them served. Here's the proof. Can you record that on the court docket? Cool. Otherwise, the court's not going to know. And they're going to be call you in and want to know how come your spouse hasn't been served yet. It's been 5 months. You have to file that proof of service. So improper service can definitely delay your divorce process. You might have to start the whole sucker over. Isn't that just fun? It could delay the ending too. If it turns out there's improper service, your 6 months can go well beyond that. If you're trying to get into court and talk about these issues, you can't even talk about it if your service hasn't been completed yet. And if you're planning to file a default agreement, a default judgment, you have to have proper service in order to proceed with a default with an agreement. Now, if they file a response, then this isn't the issue. If they filed a response, you don't have to file a proof of service at that point. They got your petition. They were like, no. Filing a response. The date they file a response, that's considered the date of the 6-month clock. So how do you have proper service? If you are not going to If you're not working collaboratively with your spouse, the way I work, we mail them the forms. They know it's coming. They sign and date it and send it back. And that's the start of the divorce timeline. But if you're not doing that, then you want to hire a professional process server. Sometimes people get their friends to do it, which is totally fine. But like I said, the forms aren't always filled out correctly. They don't check all the boxes. They don't sign in the right places. So spend a little bit of extra money. Confirm the details before you pay for a professional process server. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. Have a conversation. It doesn't have to be on the phone. An email. If y'all living apart, a divorce is not really going to be a surprise. If you think your spouse moved overseas, they are not going to be surprised that you want a divorce. Email. Hey, I'm filing for divorce. I have to serve you. Where are you living so I can make sure you get the papers? Because the papers we mailed you didn't get. It's uncomfortable, but it's going to make your divorce go faster. Now, if you don't want to do that, there's other routes, but sometimes you have to do the uncomfortable things to get what you want. You want a divorce, you got to do a little communication with them. Okay, I feel like I'm preaching. I'm sorry. You also want to follow up. Once they are served, you have to do that next step. And that's filing the proof of service. The court is not going to know that they've been served until you file the proof of service as proof of here's all the information of when they got served. There needs to be a signature on that page, and it better not be yours. Because remember, you can't serve your spouse. And finally, if you really are in a situation where you don't know where your spouse is, you can't serve them, your next step really is to consult with an attorney about how you go about completing this process without their participation. But truly, if you're on good terms with anyone, even on Facebook, that might know them so that you can confirm their location, you should do that. This proper service is really important. Your divorce has started because you filed, but the clock hasn't started. You can't get it finished if it hasn't been started. So you got to do this step correctly. So if you're considering divorce, if you're in the process of divorce and you're not sure how to serve your spouse and how that's going to work, go ahead and schedule a call with me. I'd be happy to chat with you, talk about your situation and how I can help. Have a great day.